What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well, fine, fantastic. I hope that everyone is enjoying the new year, bringing it in, looking forward to a new year of safety, prosperity, health, advancement, movement on up. And of course, as I say that, we got to lament and mourn the situation that just occurred down in New Orleans. Which is now being classified as a terror attack and all this kind of stuff. So really a difficult situation. It's never easy to deal with mass shootings, terror attacks, people unhinged, grieved to the government, grieved to policies, and taking out their frustrations and everyone else. So this is going to kind of address a little bit of that. I'm going to try to address a little bit of it, not the full scope of what's going on. It's still under investigation. So, we got to look forward more updates and all that kind of stuff as I record this. But what I wanted to address is this idea of men growing old and gray and shriveled up in convalescent homes has been a common theme, common trope that I've come across. This whole thing that guys want to play around and then look for a nurse with a purse or nurse or a purse when they want to get old, particularly above 50 and want to get married. Probably is a thing, in all honesty. It's sad, but I'm going to put up some screenshots, and you guys can feel free to pause the video, and read through the screenshots. I'll put the link in the description, so you can go over and read the articles. But this idea that men who live to see the convalescent home or the retirement home or the a nursing home. What the heck was that? Some kind of bird flew by. Are suffering differently, or suffering in silence, or lonely, and the family doesn't visit them, and they're shriveled up carcasses, just waiting to for the final expiration. It's not necessarily true. I know that people are saying, "Oh, I see it all the time." Different CNAs. I'm in my comment section, other people's comment section that I've read. So, as a nurse, I've seen this happen. These guys are grown old alone, and trying to counteract what Kevin Samuel said. Well, you just buy a dog, die alone, and all this kind of stuff, and try to make it seem as if that's the way the guys are. It's not true. Statistically, there are anecdotal stories, yes, of men doing this type of thing, and not having the wherewithal or the family to come down and see them. But statistically, according to the study that I'm going to reference, that's not the case. And if you notice, it says men, whatever the title is, I'm recording this now, but men suffering. But there's a notable exception that I'm going to put up here. A notable exception is for BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color. That's our new buzz catchphrase there. So if you are a person of more melanin than others, then you are arranging your own activities, and even with the other ladies in the nursing homes, you're having a little bit more fun with them. Right? So, this is what the studies say. This is what this particular study says. So while you got to be careful about all this anecdotal stuff and this, I'm a nurse, I've seen this, that, and the other. Here's what the study says. So y'all can put that one to bed. Along with you can put to bed the idea that men don't make as much as women. I think that just, I was listening to a podcast. I want to give credit to where it's due, but I've already known this, that there's only two categories. And I'm not saying this to gloat. I'm saying this because there's a lot of bad information, and we tend to listen to, receive, and act according to bad information. So that's why I'm saying this. There's two categories in which, in particular, Black women are outperforming Black men, and that is one is education, black high school diplomas, bachelor's in upper degrees, women are exceeding. And it's not blowing us out the water. Something like 31% of black women have a bachelor's degree, and it's 26% of men, black men, over the age of 25. That is not blowing you out the water. 6 percentage points is not blowing you out the water. You can think so. That means if you put 100 women in a room, 100 men in a room, 31 of them have a bachelor's degree or up, at least a bachelor's degree, and 25 men will have one, a bachelor's degree. That's not blowing you out the water. The other category is home ownership. Black women in particular, are buying more homes. But men tend to nest. Women tend to nest and want this stuff. I got this house right now. I'm debating whether I'm going to get rid of it or just give it to my kids so I can travel and whatever. I don't need this big house. It's just me. Anyway, so I want to put this idea to bed about men going to nursing homes, and you dry it up and sitting in the corner eating Jello and just waiting to expire, and that's just not the case. In particular, for Black, Indigenous, and people of color, that's Latino and Asian and all that. So those who make it to the nursing home and who have lived long enough and probably had the financial means, who make it there, if you're more melanated, then you're making things happen. You're organizing your own activities and all this kind of stuff, and you're having more fun with the ladies. So that's what the research says. So let me also address this idea, and I had this conversation. The reason I want to do this video is because I had a conversation. Well, it was two reasons I want to kind of link these two. One is because I'm tired of hearing this narrative, number one, and number two, because I had a conversation the other day with someone, and we were talking about, guys who don't do right by their children, and when they grow old, their children don't want anything to do with them, which is why I'm linking these two ideas. And I don't understand. Now, I talked about this before. I grew up without a dad. I grew up without a father, and I don't understand this. I don't understand the phenomenon of not wanting to have anything to do with your children. I don't understand that. I love my children. My children love me. We have game nights, family nights. They come over. They walk over. They eat my food. And it's. I love them, and I want to see them. I want to see them grow, flourish, help them in any way that I can. And to be a guy, and as I thought about this conversation that I had with this person, and as we were discussing it, right, I couldn't only think about one or two, but I've come up with a few people that I was in church with, the major spheres of my life, major arenas of my life, church and the police department. I met a few people who. Men who don't have that type of relationship with their children, who don't talk. I know cops that I came on the job with who didn't talk to their father, and I know cops who raised their kids. We kind of grew up together. Become a cop in your 20s. Now you're in your 40s. You've been in 20 years. We're working together. We see each other's kids and all that kind of stuff, and their children grow up and hate them. Don't talk to them. So, so I'm saying I don't understand that. And if you're a guy in 2025, I would say, or 2026, whenever you listen to this, it's obviously going to live on here for a long time, hopefully. Do what it takes to make amends with your family. A dynamic that I've seen, and again, I'm talking about in general because I've seen this happen with a number of different people, is you have children and you don't get along with the mother of the child. The mother, for whatever reason, plays the games with the courts, cuts you off, puts you on child support, holds the kids hostage, all this kind of games that we all know are played. And you go off and start another family with somebody else and get married to that person, again, start another family, have kids, and you're significantly involved in the second family's life, seeing them grow, graduate, go to college, have grandkids, all this kind of stuff. But the first set of children that you had, child or children, grow up with all these different insecurities. How come dad didn't want me? How come he didn't love me? And all this kind of stuff. And I get that there's games to be played. There's all kind of dynamics that are going on. I'm not dismissing that or discounting that. But I am saying that you ought to try to do your best that you can do. If you could look in the mirror and say you tried the best you could, if you keep the receipts of items that you bought, keep the times that you tried to come see them, keep court records of trying to sue, so that way when a child is old enough to understand, you can say, listen, I tried to see you, I bought you this, I sent child support, I did this, I tried to come see you here. We had people all the time who they would the parent or the other parent would be playing games. I'm supposed to pick them up. We have an arrangement to meet the kids at McDonald's or the house, or sometimes they meet at the police department to exchange kids or hand them off to somebody else. The mother would be late or refuse to come, and they would call us all the time to document those types of incidents. You got to keep all those kind of records. It seems frustrating, seems unnecessary, but that would do so much for your own mental health as a man growing up. It'll do so much more for the mental health of the child. It's not going to heal all the wounds. It's not going to ease the pain and all that. But it can be a step in the right direction to say, hey, listen, my father at least did something to try to be a part of my life. So I just want to drop that and say that it's important. It's important to be a part of your child's life. So when you do grow old and all this kind of stuff, you can know that you did the best that you could. The best that you could. And there's some crazy stuff that goes on out there. The person I was talking to brought up the Brian McKnight situation. I'm not an expert on the Brian McKnight situation, but I guess that's the whole, the Brian McKnight, the singer. That's the whole situation that's going on with him. He's got a second family, but his first set of kids don't like him, don't want anything to do with him. You got to try. You got to try. And even if you tried, I think that you should constantly, again, I know numerous people in this position. You should constantly try. It's a new year. Hey, it's 2025. Hey, son, hey, daughter, I just want to reach out, say I love you. I recognize I wasn't always there. They might not reach back. They might be bitter and mad. They might not ever want to talk to you. It's possible. But I think, if you want my opinion, I think you ought to at least try and continue to make efforts. It's Christmas, their birthday, it's a new year, it's a new summer. Hey, I hope your summer's going to go well. I think you ought to at least try to do something. And they might not ever reach back. You might never be in good graces because of things that happen, because of your lack of putting forth an effort along the way and all that kind of stuff. So I want to try to link these two because the two items here, because when you think about growing old in a nursing home and nobody's coming to see you, which is a thing. I'm just saying it's not as prevalent as people are trying to make it seem, but it is a thing. There's obviously men who are sitting in convalescent homes and women who want something different, and that can be such a devastating thing, and that's why my daughter's already told me I could go live with her when I get old and gray. And that means something, man. That means something. I remember one time, my stepfather, before he passed, he had some serious medical issues, and he was in a nursing home, and we had gone to see him. I took the kids to go see him, right? It's important. Before I even knew about this whole phenomenon and all this kind of stuff, I took my kids to go see him. Right, this is the right thing to do. Your grandfather's in a home and all that kind of stuff, and we got to go see him. And this is how we do with family and all that kind of stuff. And then I can remember one day we're sitting in the cafeteria, everybody, they're bringing the food to eat and all this kind of stuff. And there's this old woman, she's sitting there, she's just miserable, just giving the staff a hard time, And then her family walks in. And she said, "Get me out of here." Listen, I was tickled. I couldn't stop laughing. But I can imagine that, she's at one time in her life this vibrant, spry, active person, and now she's regulated to sitting in this place with a bunch of strangers being given jello and mashed potatoes and turkey, and with peach cups and stuff, diced peaches and stuff, and she just had enough of that. And she as soon as she saw her family and loved ones, "Get me out of here." She raised her hand like it was like she was in kindergarten and she knew the answer to a question. "Get me out of here." And as funny as it was kind of heartbreaking at the same time. So there's people who are in these situations, who don't want to be there, and yeah, their love, they want to be active and all that kind of stuff, but times and circumstances and finances and whatever happens. So if you're in the place to help a family and move them in and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to live in a nursing home. Listen, I don't. But wherever you are in this conversation, age is coming for us all. If you live long enough, you'll get there. So, and the other side of that is obviously take care of yourself to the best of your ability. I just told you a story about my stepfather. He had some medical issues. You got to take care of yourself. You got to get your blood pressure checked. You got to get your prostate checked. I'm talking to the men now. Get your blood pressure checked. Get your prostate checked. Take care of your teeth as much as possible. Go see the eye doctor. Take your medicines if you're on medications. I know people who don't take their medications and have more complications because they don't want to take medications for whatever reasons. So you got to take care of yourself from soup to nuts. So work out, eat right, exercise. Eat a lot more fruits and vegetables. Put away the chips and the cookies and cakes and all that kind of stuff, and try to do the best you can as far as eating right. More fruits, vegetables. If you do eat meat, lean cuts of meat, I still advise or advance the whole food plant-based diet. We just come out the holidays, so if you cheat it, you cheat it. So it's never too late to start getting where you need to be. I bought an exercise bike for the cold days here. When the weather breaks, I plan on getting back to my walking routine. So you got to get to that. You got to get to that. So I just want to drop this right quick, and I hope I don't want to ramble too much. So let's just wrap this up put a bow on it. It's not as prevalent as we think that men, in particular men of color, are suffering in convalescent or nursing homes. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family today. Be a part of your kid's life. It's never too late to try. And that way, when you do get into the nursing home, someone will come and see about you. And of course, try not to be in that place where you can make sure you can take care of yourself. And that's by starting today, by eating right, exercising, going to see the doctor, getting your health checked, prostate, cancer screenings, dental work, eye care, everything you can do, blood pressure, get all that checked, do what you got to do in order to become the best version of yourself and to stay the best version of yourself for as long as possible. So I hope I said something that will resonate with you. Rate, subscribe, hit the like button on these videos. Until next time, much love and peace.